going on, everyone?
Hey, hey,
What's up,
how's
Ace?
everybody doing tonight? What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing okay. Doing okay. Wish I actually had a brick wall here, but whatever. It's one of those days. No. Um. So what you got for us today, man?
I got a lot, man. It's a lot on my mind. Um, a lot of the things that we've talked about in the past, just about financial literacy, financial education, investing. Um, Today we want to talk about why some people get rich and others don't, and that's one of the biggest topics. We gotta know what's the gap that needs to be filled to bridge people to get over that, get over that hump and get over to success. But what habits and what things, what kind of mindsets do rich people have that poor people don't? So we can go into that. I think that's pretty relevant. What do you
Yeah.
think? What makes people stay poor? Let's just get right into it. Or no, first, let's start over. Introduce yourself. Let them know what you do.
What's up, everyone? I'm Jason Vasquez, also known as Just the Variation. I teach about finance, not only as a career, but also on social media. Just a variation is all one word. You guys can find me on social media, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I probably take up the first page or two of Google if you look me up. But and then I also make music about it too. So that's the little fun part about me is I will actually rap about finance and make music about it and yeah, living it, man.
Awesome.
And you guys know Ace Billions. Go ahead.
Well, I hope you guys know me, but if you don't know me, my name is Ace Billions. Um, from Las Vegas. Well, not originally. I grew up in Las Vegas. I'm
Yeah,
from California originally, but I
me
gotta,
too.
represent San Bernardino and Las Vegas. Um, uh, Investor, commercial broker, mainly focusing on private equity assets. We do business acquisitions and we broker deals within the commercial, multifamily, retail, and industrial. So, and we also do medical now, um, and just overall educating. That's my biggest thing. I love to bring the information and the wealth of knowledge when it comes to financial literacy and investing. Um, just put it out to the world so that we all have the tools to win. Um, but I'm the CEO and a founder of Elite Capital, which is a private equity real estate company, um, located in Vegas. Um, so we actively raising capital, actively doing deals, brokering deals, selling deals, and raising capital for those deals. So if you guys are interested in any of that type of stuff, any of those type of services, financial services, or and you want to get into any of these deals, go ahead and DM us, and I'll send you over something, um, with the information on what we have. And send us deals as well. We always open to looking at deals and evaluating, to see if they fit into our buy box. But yeah, so let's get into it. Get into it.
Mhm.
Into why people are poor and why people get rich. What makes the difference? What's the separator?
Well, first of all, poor, how do you determine what that is, right? So there's one thing as being financially poor, but there's also another thing as being mentally poor. And I really
Right.
think that we have to differentiate those two. But, you know, mentally poor is something completely different. I think we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's start with being financially poor. It really comes down to like the habits, right? And it maybe stems off of being mentally poor as well, because you have a limited mindset and thinking that instead of, how can I afford this? You're just thinking, I can't afford this. You're not really thinking the proactive route of, okay, let me figure out all the ways that I can, right? Um, and it really comes down to the habits. Our thoughts become exactly what we do. And if we're doing the things that aren't going to make us money and it's just costing us money and there's really no return on investment, whether it's an investment of time or investment of money, then yeah, we're gonna make bad choices and that keeps us financially poor. Um, what do you think? I'm sure that I might just
Um,
be oversimplifying it, but
no, I believe that it's mindset, habits, and just the choices that we decide that. kind of lead us into a direction. Um, I really think we continue to go through these patterns and these cycles of knowing we're making certain decisions that aren't beneficial to the overall outcome, but we continue to make those choices. And sometimes it could be unconscious. So a lot of things like eating, like for example, if you if you're lacking in nutrition, if you're lacking it and you know that your diet is messed up, it's times where you just go on autopilot and you just find yourself eating a cheeseburger from Burger King, and then
I'll
you
take the
look up and
avocado.
realize like yeah, you look up and realize like you that you're eating bad and after you already told yourself that you were gonna stay on
Hmm.
a diet. You know what I mean? The same thing with your
Yeah.
financial diet. People tend to lose track and make unconscious decisions when they're not paying any attention. And I think when it comes to money specifically, it's just like a woman. If you don't pay attention to it, it'll leave you. So I think that those things relate so much. If you don't put attention or energy into something, it'll die or it'll leave. So the decision to track, the decision to find sources that are sustainable and to save and invest. It's a very simple recipe. There's nothing new under the sun when it comes to how to build a financially strong financial health in a way. Like
Yeah.
if you really want that wealth, there's ways that have been told since the beginning of time. One of my favorite books is um, the 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 Babylon, the richest man in Babylon.
Richest Man in Babylon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite books, man. It's simple, just plant the seed and multiply.
Yeah. And that's actually, it's cool that you mentioned, saving and investing as we're having this, and it's somewhat related here. Um, I'm on a group text with my family, and all I see is that my mom has already helping with my daughter, like on the saving and investing. Here, save this, invest this, like already teaching and stuff like that. I'm like, cool, just in addition to what I'm doing. So, and I think you started doing the same thing, so that way you can teach people from a younger age to not remain poor, basically, right?
Right. And when I talk about being rich, I'm not just talking about money. It's control, and especially over your time, energy, and the options
Hmm.
like that you have, like actual freedom. Financial freedom is actual freedom. You're able to make the choices and have take back control over your life and your time. Like that's all. That's really what it's all about. The material dollar is just a tool in order to get that. So when we're talking about money here, or we're talking about riches here, we're really talking about you having the control, you having
Hmm.
the power over, like I say, your time, energy, and options.
Okay. So for those that are, let's say they're not poor, let's say they're more rich. Um, I mean, is it just the habits, or, I mean, it comes from here, right? They're mentally rich, but their habits. Are you saying that they're doing something different, and if so, what would those things be?
Yeah, making better choices, understanding what's a appreciating um, asset and what's a depreciating asset, understanding what's going to grow your money and what's going to dilute your money. Um,
Hmm.
I think once you get those, being able to even understand the difference from what's making you money and what's making the money leave, then you can start forming the habits um, around that. So that's
Okay, I gotcha.
as
So
far as it's
starting.
just really just discipline, having those disciplines,
Yes.
waking up and get into it, but not just hustling. Also having a plan, also following a plan. I call it my three stages is to analyze, to strategize, to systemize, and to execute. Those,
I'm gonna
if
have
you
to
can
put
get
that on a
those
shirt.
tactics down, and it will it will not only bring you more money, but it will make sure that your money continues to flow. We focus mainly on cash flow and equity, um, and we put plug and play into those systems, and that's what the results will be: cash flow and equity.
I might get that on a hat. Just
Yeah,
letting you
might
know.
as well. I mean, you gotta ingrain that into that's proven strategy right there.
It is. It
Analyze,
is. I
strategize,
mean, it's
systemize, and
different
execute.
than, yeah, it's different than, I mean, we both live in Vegas. So how simple is it to drive down the street, 10, 15 minutes and right? And then, okay, I lost all my money. It's so simple to do that, but if you have cash flow and you have equity, which is just a bigger name for ownership, right? Then
Ownership.
yeah, I mean that's really all it is. Having ownership in something, right? And
And, and
you've
we,
owned multiple businesses before, so
yeah, I've owned up to I'm looking at 12 in total within my
mm,
entrepreneur life, 12 companies. Some were successful, super successful, and then some weren't. But the ones that I have now are thriving, and is because I implemented those systems into them, and I learned from every failure, learned from every mistake, and that's one of the habits too. Um, is being able to learn from your failures, to be able to document the things that are hard to even have a conversation about because you feel like a failure. Once you can get past that feeling of failing and understand that every failure is a lesson, um, you'll you'll be you'll be more um, strategic about growth. You'll be able to kind of see and track what you're doing wrong and what you can do better, and also what you're doing right. Because majority of
mhm,
the time, we do the right thing, and it's the things where we lack at we put emphasis on for some reason. It's just how our psychology works. When things are bad, we emphasize the bad, but when things are good, we just let it pass. Like, yeah, pat
yeah,
yourself on the back and keep it going. But um, I think having those businesses, I realized ownership is one of the key things uh, to any person. You don't have to be a full time entrepreneur. You don't have to be a Warren Buffett. You just have to have ownership in something because any time you put yourself in a vulnerable position where someone can fire you or someone can take away your source of income, you have no freedom. Then you continue to be a slave. And if in order for you to free yourself, you need to own something. And that's what America is really all about. It's about the freedom to own and grow um, from your ownership. So
yeah. And I think I'm sure you've probably read Cash Flow Quadrant.
I have, yes, I have. All rich
Yeah.
dad, poor
So,
dad books.
and basically it seems like the people with the most freedom are either the investors or the people who own something, a business of some sort. And I think we all take, and when I say we all, I mean people in general. I don't think they just start with owning a business. Some of them, I mean, you're in real estate as well, so you've seen
Hmm.
people just go from being employed from a 9 to 5 to working 24/7, essentially, right? They
Right.
and they just wanted to own a job instead, which is being self-employed. Um, you're talking about ownership, so I'm trying to figure out for the audience here, how would you go from, well, first of all, how would you go from working for someone else to working for yourself to eventually owning something because that's how you become free.
There's two ways actually. There's
Okay.
go all in, burn the boats, and jump right into it, which most people can't do that because they have families, they have kids, they have people that they're responsible for. So if you're in a position where you have a family already, there's a strategy. But if you're not, if you don't, and all you have to do is worry about yourself and get into that next level, you should be going all the way in. You should take the risk to just find a business that you're actually passionate about, that you know about, that you're knowledgeable about, and then jump all the way in. And if you do have a family, if you do have responsibilities already, then slowly accumulate that. Slowly uh, continue to work whatever job you are that's paying you working to pay the bills, but that extra 4 hours a day towards your business, that extra 10, 30, 10 to 15% of your check going towards your ownership and your equity in your own company or a piece of somebody else's company. Um, those are the strategies that I would definitely recommend. But yeah, when I first started, I didn't have a family. I just went all the way in. It was I didn't nothing really stopping me or holding me back. So I I just hopped in my business. I started working in the business first. I learned everything that I possibly could about the business, and then I took that knowledge, that blueprint that I learned, and then I used it to run my business. And then I kept doing that. I kept taking pieces um, of information from winning companies or winning businesses and winning investors, and I would add that to my recipe. Everybody got their own strategy and their own way of doing things. It's not a one size fits all. You have to find what works for you, bring it in, and make your own ingredient. Have you ever been to Popeyes?
Oh yeah, love it. Well,
Have you ever
actually,
been
I love it, but I haven't been there in a while, so
and then
I'm being disappointed.
have you ever been to Chick-fil-A?
I love it. What? Chick-fil-A?
Have you ever been to Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or let's say Cane's. Cane's is a good comparison.
Okay.
No, there's no chicken that ever tastes the same. They use the same. They use it. They all cook chicken, but they
Mhm.
have their own ingredients. You can
Yeah,
make the things. You could bring it all in and make your own success and your own way and your own way of investing, your own way of building financial freedom and generational wealth. But we all cooking chicken at the end of the day. You just got to bring in your own ingredients, your own recipe, and you could take those ingredients from other successes, which I like to do, um, and then slowly accumulate, and have a lot of patience when you're doing it. Don't chase comfort. That's one of the biggest things that I had to learn going through my process of trying to build um, my wealth is being very uncomfortable. Um,
yeah. You had
it
to
is
become comfortable being uncomfortable, basically.
Yeah, and it's a real thing because comfort is so close to just contentment, to just be so stuck in one realm, one level. It's so easy on this level. Let me just continue to stay on this level because any difficulty might break me, and that comfort it gives me a sense of lack of confidence. You you have to have confidence if you really trying to leave the lower middle class and get to the higher the 1%. You have
Yeah,
to you have to have a lot of confidence in yourself, and you have to be willing to take big risk, big risk, and fail forward. And I don't think a lot of people have that. And if you do, more power to you. And this is what this is all about. But if you don't, there's safer ways to play the game.
yeah,
There's safer ways to play the game. There's owners that are passionate. There's investors that are full time investors that are very knowledgeable that can take the investment money that you put to the side and grow it for you instead of putting it in a bank. Like you could speak more on this, but instead of putting it in a bank, there's
yeah,
other avenues that you can do if you're not a big risk taker. If you're a conservative person, you can still grow your wealth. So I might not be the the guide for the conservative. I'm all in.
yeah.
That's not my philosophy, but we do have strategies in order to get you to that that level safely. sometimes you
Yeah.
got sometimes you don't have to be the captain of the ship. You could just be a passenger and still get to the destination.
Man,
You
I
just
was
gotta
I
hop
was
in the
looking
green
to see
turret.
if I had like a what's it called? You know what a regular water bottle looks like, everyone, right? And the rest of the water bottle is like the expansion mode, right? But the water can only come out of that water bottle so fast because there's something called the bottleneck,
Hmm.
and it's a lot thinner than the rest of the bottle. sometimes all of us are our own bottleneck. We
Mm.
limit ourselves because of what? We're afraid of risk. I know you said you're all in, but for those that are more conservative, do you think maybe it's just a lack of understanding of the risk, or they're still stuck in that scarcity mindset of I only have so much, I can't afford to lose more. But I'm kind of looking at it differently, that if you're already at the bottom, you can't really lose much, versus someone who has a whole bunch more has even more to lose. What are your thoughts on something like that?
My thoughts on people just being at the having nothing to lose and people having everything to lose.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I don't know if I might have overcomplicated that question, but there's a, I'm just seeing both sides of the spectrum, right? You got
I
everybody who might be scared here, and people that got nothing to, or they have everything to worry about, but they're not scared over here. You know?
yeah, no, totally, totally. I've never felt that. Even when I didn't have anything, I had something to lose because I had a dream and I had a reason, I had a why, and I had a standard for myself.
Hmm.
And so I've always had something to lose. You know, you know what I mean. It was always lose,
Yeah,
lose the future you. You know what I mean? Lose everything that you could be
yeah,
and regret, or go for the shit and make it happen. Like I literally have always had something
I
to
like
lose.
that.
I always put that pressure on myself to achieve more and to want more for myself. Even if it wasn't necessarily there, just creating that if you don't have competition, you got to create the competition within yourself. You know what I mean? Or you got to create the scarcity within
Yeah,
yourself. Sometimes you might have $1 million, 10, 100,000, 10, however much money you got. Sometimes you can put all that money away and keep $10,000 and figure out how to make it happen. You know what I mean? Some people are
yeah,
good right back against the wall. It just really depends on, like we speak here, the rich mindset or the poor mindset. The poor mindset doesn't
yeah,
is not resourceful. The poor mindset is content. The poor mindset does not like difficulty, does not like challenge. But the rich mindset is all up for it. The rich mindset is willing to get uncomfortable, to knock on those doors, to make those calls, to create, to think outside the box, to go where people have not gone before. So to me, if a person has nothing to lose, they're delusional because we all got something to lose. We got a whole 24 hours to lose. We got a whole 365
yeah.
days to lose. We got a whole, we got time and life and energy to that we can easily waste away and depreciate ourselves.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we're the biggest
Well,
assets.
yeah, yeah. And on that topic, because I know, as we're our biggest assets,
Hmm.
an asset, again, in the terms of Robert Kiyosaki, is anything that can make you money. And
Hmm.
then a liability is anything that costs you money. So if you guys haven't read that book yet, just read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Start with that.
Read
That'll
Richest
open up
Man
your
in
eyes.
Babylon and read
That
Rich
one
Dad
too.
Poor Dad for sure.
Yep. That
Life
kind of
changing.
helps give you some clarity. Yeah. Um, what do you think rich people are doing that's differently than poor people? We're kind of going back and forth on this. Assets is one of them, but what do you think?
Um, yeah, definitely. Just building assets, or buying things that pay them instead of buying things that cost them
Mhm.
mainly, and investing into things that are I mean, honestly, investing into the things that actually make sense. A lot of people now we go into things that don't pay us or don't have any type of brand building position for us, or you know what I mean,
Right.
longevity for us. We rather wear poor people would rather put on Louis Vuitton than put on elite capital.
Mm. So
So it's really
instead of creating the status, they just want to buy the status.
exactly.
Oof. Yeah.
The rich
And
people take
so
the easy way out. I mean,
They probably treat money like a reward instead of a tool. Without,
yeah, they treat it like they treat it like it's just something that that they meant to spend instead of meant to build with.
I'm sure that's a lot to unpack because I'm sure there's people that are watching our stuff, but what do they see on social media though, right? They probably see the person with the nice like Lambo or something behind them, and it's all flashy, and people like that stuff, right? It looks like status, but behind closed doors, is this person really like really about it, or are they just looking nice, right? So,
Yeah, if you got good credit and
um,
you got a good chunk of change in it, you can get
credit's
a
a thing
Lambo
too.
if that's what you want. But like I
Yeah,
said, it, and you can treat it like an asset as well if you rent it out, or you can drive it away till the wheels fall off. But my land is still gonna be there. My building is still gonna be there. My stocks is still gonna be there. My businesses are still gonna be there. And they're going to continue to generate cash instead of me paying a car note every month to the bank for something that
yeah,
I say I own, but I'm actually the bank owns. So
yeah. Well, so
just
rich people.
whatever floats your boat.
Well, I'm sure that we've all kind of been like somewhere where we probably started off on one and the other, and I think it just comes down to culture. You know,
Yeah, you
I
see a
grew up
rapper
with.
with something, they
I was
one of
about
the
to
biggest
say,
influencers. You
yeah,
see them with and you can't help but be influenced by them. I catch myself like, oh, I could go cop a nice little chain and rolly or AP, which
I
I
think
mean
that's
I
maybe
did.
something the other night, right? I was
Yeah,
like, hey, look at this chain. Should I?
yeah, I
Should I
got peer
not?
pressured into it.
You're like, yeah, go ahead. I'm like,
I'm susceptible
nah.
too, for sure. So yeah, I did it before. So I'm speaking
Yeah,
from experience. I went and bought the chain, bought the watches, bought the cars, had a Rolls Royce, drove the Rolls Royce till I couldn't drive it no more, and then I was like, you know what? I just want to get from A to B. I want to get to the money,
yeah,
and it's good for marketing. Like I said, everything is what you make it. If you make it something for status, if you make it for to show off to your boys, or if you make it a tool for marketing, if you make it a tool for starting conversations, then it could be that. And that's also a
mm,
rich people and poor people mindset. Poor people
yeah.
are doing it for other people to impress people, and then
That
rich
don't even
people are
really
doing
care.
it because it's a write off and because
Yeah,
it's a conversation piece. It's a conversation starter, and also because it's asset. So
mm, yeah,
you gotta sometimes what you gotta split that line and understand what rich and poor is and what pros and cons are,
yeah.
and what
And
assets and what liabilities are.
that's liability.
Yeah.
Well, how do you eventually become rich? And I think that comes down to, like we said, building the assets. But you ever heard that saying, like your network is your net worth?
hmm
And I didn't know I've heard you say it, but for you guys that are watching, have you ever heard that saying? What's been your experience, Ace, as far as just that statement alone? Because that's what rich people are doing. I would assume from the books I've read.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things, the biggest tools in the world is networking. I think that's why social media um, can be a powerful tool as well because you can network across the world. But
Mm,
your network is your network because I I realize this way too late in my life, and I'm glad I get to speak to this now for people that's just catching this early. That money doesn't transfer without people. So even when you manifest money, because I'm big when it comes to visualization and manifestation. I meditate every single day, but I started having a block where I wasn't receiving, nothing was pouring into me because I was just manifesting money. Just, oh, I want this much money. I want this much. Then I started manifesting people that I could serve, that I can give value to, that I can connect, and understanding that they're the people that are gonna transfer the money to me. Money transfers through people. That's how economy works. So if you manifest a new client, your ideal client that's going to pay you $10,000 a month for services rendered, then chances is you'll be able to have that and actually receive that. But going back to the networking aspect of is that if you don't if it's not even about who you know, it's about who knows you. So if you don't go out and make a presence for yourself, if you don't go out and shake hands and and meet the right people and get in the right circles, get in the right environments, not only will your financial status or your financial situation not be better, but your information um, won't either. You won't be growing not when it comes to knowledge. You won't be growing when it comes to your money, and you won't be growing when it comes to your energy. Because you got to be around. You got to be around it and absorb uh, that type of energy. I really, truly believe that. So
Energy too, huh?
energy is everything.
I'm learning here, guys, only because the way that I think is very, very like fact based, logic based, and so when I hear about energy and people, because I can make numbers, not numbers don't lie, but then the variable with all of this is always the people. So it's really interesting when you say that it's been about building a network. And for anyone watching here, if this is right just to your head, it's the same for me. And I say that because Ace and I have known each other for a while now. He remembers when I had hair, and I remember when he had hair. And
And that was
um,
it, bro.
you know,
Relax.
yeah,
I still got
I've always been kind of one. Yeah, it just went from up here to right here now, right?
yeah, it's
No, I'm just
still
kidding.
summer.
So, for me, guys, anyone here who's very fact based, I've actually seen Ace go through his ups and downs, and for him to be able to say that live here, for everyone to hear about, it is about the network. It's not just about the chasing money. It's about chasing the network and becoming someone that people can know. That
Hmm.
that's
And
big,
not even
and
that,
I
just
guess it
let
wasn't.
me add to that for sure, because it doesn't stop with
Yeah,
networking. And the reason why you haven't seen progress when you are networking, if you haven't, is because have you have no value to give yet. You have to have something of value. You have to have the intention on giving value first before you ask for anything or plan to receive anything. Is give and thou shalt
yeah,
receive.
that's interesting because usually it's ask and you shall receive. Now it's give and you shall receive. This is
Exactly.
good. I like this. Are you guys enjoying this? Shoot, I'm always enjoying this. So, all right. So basically, wealthy people they invest their time, their energy in networking. What else? I mean, is there anything else
Um,
would you recommend as far as planning and
I would recommend budgeting, investing, reading, and tracking. Those are some qualities that
reading?
that the wealthy have, especially reading. Reading is big as well. Well, no, they all kind of equal. Budget and investing, reading and tracking, and keep it.
Kind of have to do all of them equally, is what he's saying.
Yeah,
It's not that
yeah.
one is more important than the other. They all kind of have to be done,
25, 25,
and
25.
everyone just kind of has different levels. Yeah, everyone just has different levels based on their situation of what needs to be done, right? So sometimes if you don't like reading, at one point I can tell you guys I hated reading, but it wasn't until I was looking for the knowledge then that's when I started to love it. Because at least I wasn't reading like nothing against this one, but you and I remember. a high school class where we had to read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Hmm.
So, I was like, yeah, I didn't really care too much about that. But I'm not dissing the work. It's a fantastic piece of work, but it has nothing to do with money, nothing to do with building wealth. So, all
Right.
right. We talked a lot about the, rich mindset, and I guess a
And
little bit
then
about the poor mindset.
I kind of want to go
Go ahead.
into like some tangible action steps because wealth building wealth
Oh yeah, that's good.
isn't a theory. You know what I mean? This is not our theory. These proven facts. These are things that help me. These are things that help the people that we come into proximity with that are millionaires and billionaires. And the things that I
Hmm.
see are they automate good decisions and remove emotion from money completely. Um, they don't rely on motivation. They build systems.
Yeah.
Systems are the lifeline and the pipeline of your business and your investing. So you have to have systems, and every rich person has a routine that protects their money from their emotions. Automation.
Yeah.
You have to have automated processes in order to achieve success without emotions, because we're very emotional when we hear something is going on in the market, we hear something is going on in the economy or in our cities, we tend to panic
Hmm.
right off. It's fight or flight, and sometimes it's neither one. Sometimes a good investor or a good business owner knows how to stay still and stay calm, especially
Yeah.
under those type of circumstances, under those type of when things poke at you. It's not saying that you're emotional or that you can't control your emotions, but these things can shake you, and you have to be able to weather through the storm. You got to be able to stay calm, and those systems to fall back, that foundation to fall back on, that you're building your empire on, has to be built on a strong foundation and designed with a strategic blueprint. So I would say for the first step will probably be to get clarity. What's your real number? What's your freedom number? How much is it that's going to get you to that rich and that wealth? Um, Step two, I would say,
Hmm.
be manage the money you have like an investor. Don't be a customer.
Yeah.
Don't go out and the first thing that you think about is what can you buy or what bills you got to pay. You should be investing first. I know people say invest
Yeah.
what's left over, but I invest first and spend what's left over. Okay.
That's good.
And then step three, build something that grows when you're not there. Business, real estate, or a brand that just continues to grow without your active um, daily activity, without your time as being the the engine for your business or your real estate. You have to be able to manage. Um, and if you don't know how to manage, you need to find someone that knows how to manage and partner with them. Like, not everybody's a good manager, not everybody's a good leader, but you can find people that can fit those roles and still grow to a level um, that you dream of. So, and then step four, I would say repeat that long enough to the results compound. So,
Yeah.
compound interest. I should get that out of the t-shirt. Results will compound day to
Actually,
day. Get
that's
1%
good.
better every day. Uh, put your system together 1% every day. Put your business, invest every day a small percentage of whatever income you got coming in, and you see your pot grow. You'll be at the end of the rainbow. Bars. I should have been a
You
rapper, bro.
guys heard it here, man.
I should
A
have been
what?
a rapper.
I already made you a rapper.
Yeah.
For you guys that don't know, I mean, I make raps and stuff, but I took one of Ace's TikTok videos, sampled it,
Oh
and
yeah,
made
you
a rap
tried to
out of it.
sample my
I
sample
was
me,
rapping most of it.
put me on the beat.
Yeah, I tried. You have nuggets, man. I swear. If it's
I,
not
I,
gold bars, at least it's nuggets.
I thank God I got nuggets because I'm His messenger. So everything that I say comes from Him. Everything that I think about comes from Him. So He just put it on my heart to
Yeah,
say certain things at certain times, and
yeah,
and it all works out. It all comes out. And
yeah.
what's what's some what's some reasons why people on your end? What would you think? What would be something that they can put into play, actionable steps that they can use? Because you are the financial guru, the financial advisor.
Wealth
So
advisor.
yeah,
All right. So I guess well, first thing is you have to make a decision that you want to have things become better. Because if it's not internally aligning with you, then you're not going to stick to it. Right
hmm
now, if look, things need to be better. Everything in my soul is saying that things need to be better. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Well, we should definitely talk, whether it's me or with Ace, right? If you're talking about an actionable step, something that can be written down on paper, not just internal, well, now let's go ahead and talk about that financially, financial free number, right? What's the freedom number? What's that look like? And this can be figured out by, are you going the cash flow route, which we were talking about cash flow earlier? Cash flow is what's coming in. Okay, what age do you want that to come in? And it's just a whole calculation. So we'll talk about, is it a cash flow goal or is it amount of money goal? So cash flow is consistent, can be happening today or tomorrow or whenever you want it to turn on. But also, what's an amount you want to hit? Maybe that's just from milestone, and then once you hit that milestone, you can create that into cash flow. So in the end, it always comes down to cash flow, right? But some people
100%.
want cash flow earlier, some people want it later. And right now, if you're just working your job, your W-2 job, perfect. That's your cash flow. But like Ace said earlier, if you're not owning anything, you're leaving everything up to the chance of that employer still paying you, whether that's the government or a big known company, right? Big major household name or a startup, right? You're still subject to someone else's will. And if they terminate you, now your income stops. And so if you really want to future proof and have a plan to future proof your money, you have to start owning things. Now, me on the financial side, I deal on the traditional financial, advising and planning side, with a few professionals that I work with who are, I guess you could say, what do they say? The jack of all trades and a master of none is often better than a master of one. That's the full saying. Uh, that saying is partially true, and I'm trying to become a master in many different ones, right? But I just need to master it enough for me to understand it, that way I can get it to the person who's a specialist there. I've gotten the main point across. The exact detailed numbers, I can get my time back, send it over to that person, and now they can help that person with the guidance of me and that person as well. Right. So yeah, basically you have to start planning, figuring out what you want. Do you want cash flow? Do you want to start saving more money? It all starts with the decision, and I'm more than open to helping people with that. It just has to come down to the decision. We can't want this more for you than you want it for you, basically.
No,
So
I don't want to
yeah,
be a slow. But yeah, so I mean that's our time for tonight. But I appreciate everybody tuning in, watching this video. Please, if you can, like and subscribe. Um, Leave a comment with any questions that you guys have, and if it's good, we'll speak about it on the next show. But yeah, let's keep this thing going. Let's keep growing.
I'm sure they're all excited. I can see them. They're about to comment.
Yeah, let's get it.
All right,
You,
guys.
I'm talking to you.
We appreciate you guys. We really
All
hope
right,
you. We know you're gonna get the most out of everything. All right. You guys have a great till next time, basically.
till next time. billions
Right.
out.